There's many a good reason as to why Kratos has got a permanent frown and an axe to grind with anything near divine. We're here to go over every scar and every battle that shaped the ghost of Sparta into the man, or more accurately, demigod that he is today. Kratos and his brother Deimos were born to Callisto, one of Zeus's many mistresses. Kratos and Deimos dreamed of joining the Spartan army, but they were still skinny little kids the fateful day that the gods showed up. It turns out there was a prophecy that one of Zeus's own children, a marked one, would kill him. Deimos was born with red birthmarks all over his body, so Zeus sent Athena and Ares to get rid of Deimos while he was still just a scrawny kid. Kratos tried to stop them, but was backhanded by Ares, leaving him with a scar over his eye. The experience left such an impression on Kratos that he got red tattoos all over his body to honor Deimos. Years later, Kratos' daughter would contract a plague that could only be cured with ambrosia, the food of the gods. Kratos went on a quest to find it, unknowingly as a champion chosen by Ares in a great game of the gods. Each had a champion also determined to get the ambrosia for themselves. Kratos eventually overcame the other champions, bringing the ambrosia back to his daughter and healing her. After this odyssey, Kratos received a promotion, honored with the rank of captain from the king of Sparta himself. Determined to make Sparta's glory known everywhere, Kratos became a bloodthirsty warmonger. However, his armies were defeated by the forces of Alric the barbarian king, out for revenge after his loss to Kratos during the Ambrosia quest. Before Alric could strike the killing blow, Kratos called out to Ares and promised to serve him in exchange for victory.
My life is yours, Ares. From this day, I shall carry forth your will.
And his fate was sealed.
This is where Kratos got his signature Blades of Chaos. Kratos went about killing, slaughtering, and murdering innocents in Ares' name. However, Ares betrayed Kratos by tricking the Spartan into murdering his own family. Kratos burns their bodies in the temple and is cursed to wear his family's ashes, marking him as the ghost of Sparta. Rather than crafting the perfect warrior, Ares unintentionally created his greatest enemy. Ares hadn't exactly been a father who inspired loyalty, and so his son Orcos eventually reveals that it had been Ares' plan to use Kratos as a way to usurp Zeus.
But he needed the perfect warrior. Ares molded you to take down the very walls of Olympus.
The Furies capture Kratos and torture him with illusions of his past. After finally defeating all of the Furies, all that's left is breaking his ties to Ares. This could only be done through killing Orcos, who wants an honorable death. Upon killing Orcos, the bond is broken, and a seal inside Kratos bursts. The ghost of Sparta becomes plagued with nightmares of his morbid past. Kratos enlists as a sort of divine errand boy, promising to do whatever the gods ask so he can atone for his sins. 5 years after breaking his ties to Ares, he notices that the sun falls out of the sky. In the darkness, the god of dreams Morpheus places the Olympian gods in a deep sleep, leaving Kratos to solve the case of the kidnapped sun. Taking a trip to the underworld, Kratos discovers that the Titan Atlas stole Helios, the sun god. What's worse, Persephone reveals that she was the mastermind behind the kidnapping of Helios. She had planned on using Atlas to destroy the pillar of the world and by extension, all the gods. Kratos kills Persephone and puts Atlas in chains once again. Athena always seemed to have a soft spot for Kratos. The goddess of wisdom appears to Kratos and tells him that the final task that will release him from the nightmares of his past is to use Pandora's box to destroy Ares. The box is in Pandora's temple, which is nailed to the back of the Titan Kronos. Though he survives the temple, he's no match for the giant pillar that Ares hurls at him, which kills the ghost of Sparta. But Kratos has crawled out of hell before, and he does it again. Regaining Pandora's box, Kratos uses it to get big, able to take on Ares one-on-one. With the Blade of the Gods, Kratos is able to finally kill Ares. Athena then offers Kratos the position as the new God of War. One of his first tasks as a god is to destroy the remaining ambrosia to make sure that Ares won't be revived by his followers. Sometime later, Kratos discovers that his brother Deimos is still alive, tortured in the domain of death by Thanatos. On his way to save his brother, Kratos encounters another titan, Thera. While freeing her from her volcanic prison, Kratos essentially sinks Atlantis. His watery troubles aren't over yet though. Before he can make it to Thanatos' temple, he's attacked by Poseidon, the god of the tides. After surviving the gauntlet, he's ready for a warm reunion with his brother. Unfortunately, that's not what he gets. When Kratos finds Deimos, he gets a punch to the face, rather than a hug from his long-lost brother.
You let this happen to me! You were supposed to protect me!
Deimos blames Kratos for not saving him, and they fight like true Spartan warriors. Their fight is interrupted by Thanatos, who ruins their reunion with taunts about the marked warrior prophecy. He kills Deimos, and Kratos quickly avenges his brother. Time passes, and Kratos' relationship with Olympus remains shaky at best. Things come to a head when Kratos assists Sparta in conquering Rhodes. An eagle steals his strength, leaving him as an above-average human to fight the Colossus of Rhodes. Zeus offers Kratos the blade of Olympus, and the God of War puts his last strength into the sword, killing the Colossus but finding himself crushed and dying beneath it. Zeus, who was the eagle all along, demands that Kratos serve him, but Kratos refuses. Zeus kills Kratos with the blade, with Kratos swearing vengeance with his very last breath.
You will pay for this, Zeus. Be certain of that.
Remember the Titans? They're important. Specifically, the Titan Gaia saves Kratos from the underworld and sends him on a mission to seek out the Fates, who can manipulate time. Gaia wants Kratos to execute an Avenger-style time heist to get the Blade of Olympus, and by extension his divinity, and defeat Zeus. As always, this is easier said than done. When he finally makes it to the Sisters of Fate, they also put up quite the fight. Kratos, as he's so wont to do, manages to kill all 3 of his enemies and take control of his fate. He travels back to the moment of his most recent death and tackles Zeus. They fight fiercely, with Kratos gaining the upper hand. Before he can strike the killing blow, Athena sacrifices herself to save Zeus, ostensibly to prevent the destruction of Olympus. She reveals that Zeus is his father and Kratos is the marked warrior, destined to destroy the gods. Ignoring Athena's pleas, Kratos vows to destroy all the gods. Kratos goes back in time to the moment before all the Titans were destroyed by the Olympians and brings them to the present to storm Olympus. Kratos brutally kills Poseidon, unleashing the fury of the sea and effectively drowning all of Greece. Gaia and Kratos go to take on an injured Zeus, but he sends them plummeting towards the underworld. Saving only herself, Gaia calls Kratos nothing more than a pawn.
You were a simple pawn, nothing more. Zeus is no longer your concern. This is our war, not yours.
Fallen yet again into the underworld, Kratos encounters a specter of Athena. Her death has enlightened her, and she's now totally down for some good old-fashioned patricide. That is, she wants to kill Zeus too. According to Athena, Kratos needs to extinguish the flame of Olympus to do away with Zeus. Using the Blades of Exile that Athena's ghost gifted him with, Kratos manages to defeat Hades and steal his soul. Escaping the underworld, Kratos cuts down Gaia for a betrayal and continues on his warpath toward vengeance. Helios, the sun god, doesn't give good information to Kratos and pays for it with his life, plunging the world into darkness. After finding Pandora's box and being informed by Athena that to put out the flame of Olympus, he'll need Pandora herself, Kratos kills another god. With Hermes' death, a deadly plague spreads to every living thing. After speaking with Hephaestus in the underworld, Kratos finds out that when he opened Pandora's box, Zeus was infected with fear. This led him to stealing Pandora, the key to the box made living, and banishing Hephaestus. The Smith god sends him to find a stone in the belly of Kronos, with which he promises to make a special weapon if Kratos survives. When Kratos returns victorious, the Smith god tries again to kill Kratos, but winds up dead himself. When Kratos rescues Pandora, she reminds him so much of his own daughter that he begins to think of her as his own. In the final fight between father and son, Kratos manages to impale Zeus with the Blade of Olympus. However, Zeus' spirit, powered by fear, still has fight left in him and tortures Kratos with his own memories. Pandora's spirit helps Kratos escape his memories, and Kratos kills his father with his bare hands. Zeus' death plunges the world into chaos, which Athena believes can be fixed with the power of hope, the final power in Pandora's box. Athena realizes that the evils in the box had infected the gods when Kratos had first opened it, and hope had sufficed itself with Kratos. The God of War releases hope into the mortal world by impaling himself with the blade, finally ending his quest. Just kidding, instead of dying, Kratos is cursed forever to walk the earth. Only the Greek world was affected by his war on the gods, so the realm of the Norse gods is untouched. There he meets a woman named Faye and marries her, fathering Atreus. Before her death, Faye instructs him to spread her ashes on the highest peak in all the 9 realms. It turns out that, like Kratos with the Olympians, Faye had an antagonistic relationship with the Norse pantheon, since she was a frost giant. The moment the god sends her ashes, Balder shows up seeking her out for less than friendly reasons. Balder is seemingly invincible, and Kratos barely manages to beat him back so that he and Atreus can set out on their journey. Kratos and Atreus' journey toward the highest mountain peak leads them all over the Norse lands. After their adventure in Alfheim, father and son happen upon a trapped Mimir. Mimir corrects the two's misconception of where their quest is taking them, informing Kratos and Atreus that the peak they seek is actually in another realm.
You've come to the wrong place, little brother. The highest peak in all the realms is not here in Midgard. It's in Jotunheim. realm of the giants.
Two of Thor's sons attack Kratos and Atreus at the behest of Odin himself, leading to Atreus activating his very first Spartan rage, which nearly kills him. Odin's ex-wife Freya tells Kratos that his sickness is due to Atreus thinking he's mortal when he's really a god. The cure is in Helheim, which requires Kratos to unearth the Blades of Chaos to save his son. When Atreus is healed and learns the truth of his and his father's divinity, he's pretty excited. This turns into arrogance, which leads the boy to disobey Kratos and attack Baldur instead of crossing into Jotunheim. Jumping into Helheim, the three have to take the long way back to Midgard. Once there, they have to take a trip to the belly of the World Serpent to piece together the final requirements to get to Jotunheim. Baldur attacks again, leading to a family reunion between himself and his mother Freya. Baldur hates Freya for making him invulnerable, and thus unfeeling. Kratos prevents him from killing her, breaking the cycle of children killing their parents. Freya's spell is broken by mistletoe, and Kratos is forced to snap the god's neck, which leaves Freya furious and vowing revenge. At last in Jotunheim, Kratos and Atreus discover a mural prophesizing their journey, their future, and Atreus' true name, Loki. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SVG videos about your favorite games are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.